Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video in my series that I am doing here, which I will also remind you in every video that this is not about the actual Yu-Gi-Oh card game. This is the video series where I talk about the real life Yu-Gi-Oh, and because I believe that the Yu-Gi-Oh game is the perfect metaphor and the perfect way to make videos to describe the kind of behaviors that I want to talk about in videos, and make the videos about the behaviors easier to make a title out of, you know what I mean, too. Alright, this video I'm going to talk about today here, the particular card I'm going to talk about. It's a very significant Yu-Gi-Oh card that everybody uses. I don't care what color you are, you're male or female, what orientation you are. Everybody uses it. Political, on TV. And once again, it starts from childhood, school kids. And it's a very significant card because if grown people do it, it goes from school, back when you're in school, to when then you're later, whether you're in college or in the workplace, street, neighbors, people the same color as you play it and opposite color as you play it against each other, your own family. I call it the surround yourself with badasses card. How people will play what I call the surround your ass with badasses card. Well, what they do, the adversaries will do, is surround themselves with badasses. And okay, hear me out here. Okay, it's like when you first are in school, and I remind you once again, you know, later in life, grown-ass people do this shit too, where, okay, it's almost like if you cannot do and be, if you can't do the bullshit and be the school bully and his buddies, the shit the school bully and his buddies do, if you can't be that, and if you can't control people and intimidate people, and if you're the guy that everybody will just flip you off and tell you to go fuck yourself and walk away or laugh in your face, and you cannot intimidate, and then you realize everybody just flips you off or laughs in your face because you kind of want to be the bully per se. If you can't be that and do the intimidating, surround yourself with a bunch of assholes and maybe lick the boots of the particular bullying class. I mean, like I said, they come in all races, and a lot of them mixed too. Did they work with each other, the like-minded, and say if you're, in a lot of times in this case, you're still a fool because the badasses you surround yourself with, maybe in some ways, think you're a useful idiot and regard you a joker, and they'll mock you in plain sight to your face. But then go to people and act like you're something, and then these people will actually, to a certain extent, fight on your behalf, but you're hiding behind them. And one of the examples is too when you're grown-ass people. Okay, this is one of my favorites, and I don't want to attach any particular race to this, but I know if I were a comedian, I would say, and there was a good amount of people of black or another race, I would kind of want to get a laugh by saying, okay, this is how white people do it. Like, comedian Dan Cook would do it, how white people do it. And you might have a black coworker that would if you would joke along with black coworkers that you get along with, and they might laugh and say, oh, that sounds like somebody I know, or that sounds like my cousin or my ex-wife, like that. But one of the ways, methods, and statements that will also be used too, for example, it can be a particular family member, like a no race attached to it, not always. One of the settings, the many settings, would be like when you're older, the whatever asshole, however he looks, whatever you want to call Joe Schmo, go to a particular bar and surround themselves in a bar where, the loser bars where everybody thinks that they got the whole world by the balls. And you'll see one of these people that will surround themselves with badasses because they can't intimidate you. You tell them to go fuck themselves. And it's like, the only thing they can do is, in an argument, sometimes they'll make reference to some particular bar. And this person will always act like that this bar, some of them are and some of them ain't, make the bar a bigger thing than it is, like it's some big time, whatever entity they want to throw at you, if they glorify drug use or some kind of gangsterism, white or black. White people will do a particular card on their own, like a gang-like thing, and it's always, there are, some shitty loser bars, and some people have a nuisance bar law that does away with those places, but you always get this, and the that particular asshole too, say if you're white, they may be some skinny, bony-chested person that's always going with no shirt on, right? And they got these girly arms. Some of them will actually, they may have been somebody you went to school with, right? And they'll, later on, they never grow up and they act the same damn way, and they decide to go hang in these bars, surround themselves with these kind of people, if they're buying enough of drugs or drinking with them or something. Who knows what other people really think of them, but go get themselves these cheap, dark tattoos, or, how nowadays everybody got these real intricate tattoos. They're really beautiful ones. A lot of work, a lot of money went into them. But there was the era back when I was a teenager, or even still now, except more intricate, that I don't know whether to say, if you can't afford, goddamn sirens in the background just to interrupt my fucking video. God damn it, hurry up and go by it. I hope nobody died. Hope nobody died or anything. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Yeah, that usually, and I don't know if it's because they can't afford a better tattoo or whatever, or sometimes they'll get these dark black tattoos. It can be pentagrams or anything, because they think it makes them more badass, and they surround themselves with these badasses, or to try to intimidate, like, really dorky idiots that maybe the really goody two-shoes church crowd might be scared out of them or a little bit. That they can't put anybody in fear themselves, except for maybe, I don't want to call idiots, the real goody two-shoes and a particular crowd. You figure it out. So, they surround themselves with badasses. Okay, and once now that I've kind of went on telling you about that, there's the other part of the surround yourself with badasses, is not to be racist or any kind of thing like that, no intention at all. You'll get the asshole that, okay, I would prefer some kind of classic R&B where black people actually had talent, and then some rap was good. I listened to some of the rap back in the 80s. But now you'll get the asshole, right, that you went to school with and now is a grown-ass person, right, that everything, always got to listen to gangster rap, right? And once again, the asshole that can't do shit to you and can't win an argument. They're not going to physically do anything to you. But everybody else is a racist, right? And it's usually the white guy, and they got to be insecure, and it can dovetail into the loser bar element that I just told you about, but not always at a bar, but they got to surround themselves with bigger black folk or bigger tattooed white folk, or a mixture of in between. They can't do anything to you. There's no talking to them, right? They want to be intimidators, and they can't intimidate, so they just want to surround themselves with the pseudo gangster crowd, not to be nothing against anybody because of their race, because you got friends that listen to maybe rap music, and some of us, like I said about music, I don't need to do a whole video or to explain that. Some of them I particularly think classic R&B is where all the black people had talent, and some 80s rap, but there was some that are pretty good. But anyway, you get the asshole that has to surround ourselves with the losers of a particular crowd, whether it's the the bunch of white guys that's always gangster rap that hang with the black. Not about race, but they got to pick the shitheads to surround themselves with because they're, big pussies or whatever the hell they are. And when you call them on it too, all they are, and okay, you're a racist or whatever the hell, but racially speaking, it's the asshole that always got to hang with the shitheads of a particular crowd that will get them thrown in jail or drag them into jail or whatever, or maybe in some cases want to martyr themselves, but they don't got nothing on you in an argument, or they just don't like you for any whatever reason. They can't intimidate, so they'll go that route. Hang around with the to try to act like they're unracist, but they'll go whether it's some kind of loser bar or how much drugs they're buying off of a particular person, and they'll get themselves maybe a bunch of some kind of tattoos. And again, their stature, unlike anybody else that you'd go in a bar around that can kind of kick your ass, whether they're black or white, that could kick your ass, right? These are the losers of that crowd that can't do 2 or 3 push-ups and maybe gotta dress a certain kind of way and surround themselves with a bunch of fools, and that's all they are. The kind you laugh at. Like it is, the differentiating, say, whether you're black or white watching this, you got the ones of your own kind, you could get in the bar, get your ass kicked, or get shot. And you get the asshole, both black or white, that gotta surround themselves with these characters, or surround themselves with characters that ain't really any kind of gang shit. It's all pretending to be. And not about race. It's like you can pretend to be the pseudo biker or the pseudo black gang or whatever. You can be a white guy trying to act gangster. Surround yourself with all these idiots, or whether it's, you get it. Get the idea. And like you can compare it with any other. You can probably come up with some list that you can be. You can even be the fake. What do you call it? A redneck element in there. So how some rednecks don't like each other, and you got the losers a certain kind. You got the pretend to be's and wannabes, and you could be the one, say, in the redneck bar. These kind of ones that are nothing but pussies and cowards, right? Pretending to be this or that, and then you win the fight. You go to some bar or win the fight, or tell somebody I'll walk out, you can get shot in the back or dumped somewhere or whatever the hell. Every lifestyle and kind of people has it. Women do the shit like around other women, whether they do the fake bar hoe thing, all the act like around all kind of guys in some bar and think that they have their own goon squad. Like this can be an example with a guy you work with, a friend of yours that you work with, both black or white. He might tell you about this ex-wife that, like, oh yeah, not with you anymore, ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. They hang with all these other guys in the bar and now act like they have their own goon squad, and like, fuck you, I can have all these people beat you up. Those kind. It can be black. You can be a friend of yours that ex-wife or whatever, whether it's black or white. And the white people, I would say, would be the white guy. Would be the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend that the real short cut-off shorts or some kind of way, dressed a certain way, and not to be prejudiced against anybody with tattoos. They might be tattooed or not tattooed. Whatever geographical location in this country, they got their look. And you fall out with them, or it can be not even a ex-wife or girlfriend, somebody else's ex-wife or girlfriend told you about it. You get the idea. And when they'll use this bullshit to intimidate other women that they either disagree with or that they cannot intimidate, and pull the same bullshit. It can be make reference either to a bar, like the loser bar mentality atmosphere, and in an argument, they'd be known to make references to their loser bar, make the bar a bigger, more badass thing than it really is. It may not be a biker bar or a gangsta bar. just a shitty little bar that people go to, instead of a nice place that plays music that you can have a beer and drink, have a beer with a good food, that kind of thing. Not always, but a lot of times it's referenced to a loser bar, whether you're in it or not. But in a workplace, it's all in a workplace. Before I make this video go on too far, you get that reference and the cliques within the workplace. You get the asshole in a workplace that threatens this or that and surrounds theirself with either badasses or, in some cases, if it ain't badasses do anything physical, the badasses try to make it badassery to be in with the right people or relative to the people. They can be related to the people that can get you fired. Like they can be the asshole that does all kind of other bullshit, but then you can be threatened to be fired over something stupid. You won't get to speak your piece. But yet, meanwhile, this will be the asshole that'll do everything in full plain view, and he's so-and-so's relative, and literally gets away with murder, and be the one that the less they do, the worse they act, and the less they do in the workplace, the farther up the top they go because of who they know. And then if it gets physical, there's a threat of, oh, I can have you fired, or maybe even not have you fired. Their buddies at the bar that they go to after work, the loser bar they go after work, or whatever the fuck, In some cases, what do you call? Oh, I can go on and on. You know what I mean? That particular cliques. You know what I mean? Like I said, everybody wants to play the surround yourself with badasses card. The final reminder when I end this video that, yeah, they can't intellectually intimidate you or physically, or you laugh at them. They don't get taken seriously or anything or laughed at, and they can't be the bully. They want to surround themselves with badasses, and they can't do nothing unless they get something they can say. Well, they'll get all their buddies. They're the kind of asshole that ain't nothing unless they're surrounded by a bunch of their buddies, which are not even their friends. They're just fake friends. You know what I'm saying?